Let's go.
Hello, Tomislav Birtic. Welcome.
Julije.
Welcome to Pasos del Camino, a project about the Camino de Santiago to the Camino de Santiago. And
Thank
it's
you so much.
such a pleasure to have you here to talk about something so special as the Camino. Thank you so much for being here with me today and to share your experiences on on
Thank you,
on the
and you are
Camino.
more than welcome.
You are the first pilgrim from Croatia that I talked, so that's amazing.
I'm first from Croatia.
Yeah.
Okay, it's an honor. Thank you very much.
So
Gracias.
let's start from the beginning. How did you find out about Camino Santiago for the first time?
It was a very funny anecdote. I am a very small publisher,
Yeah.
and I like to deliver my books personally. And a book I delivered that time in English, the title would be Hiking with God.
Yeah.
And a man who was my buyer told me about Camino. And that was the first time I ever heard about Camino. He was so surprised, like I told him that I never heard about Beatles or Rolling Stones, something like that. And in that moment, I asked him, okay, talk me about Camino. I would like to know. And he spoken about blisters, many people in albergues, some rain, some very hot temperature, and only what I've heard was, wow, 30 days just for me.
Did you remember what was your first big interaction on the Camino? Your first big moment while walking the Camino? Did you remember what it was?
Yes, it was, I think it was day 6 or 7. It was a really great spiritual experience. And in some moments, it was forgiveness for everybody,
yeah,
including myself. Before the Camino, I imagined such moments in idyllic scenery, blue sky, mountains, but it was just an ordinary place. Bench, some first kid stuff around me because I treated my blister. It was completely unexpected. I just felt at some stage. My English is not perfect.
Not a problem.
But at that moment, I made a joke many times. I discovered the ducks are flying. It was a unique moment of experience that everybody I need is within me, inside me. And all some of my bad relations with some people, everything disappeared in it. It's not in a second. There is no time in that moment. It was complete bliss. That was the first.
That is amazing.
Big moment for me on the Camino.
That's
maybe
amazing.
day 7. I should look at my book to be certain. But it was in the first week.
Yeah, we will talk about more ahead about your book.
Okay.
But first, you know, for me, example, I don't know, on the Camino, I feel that I'm really close to God, and there's these things that happen to me in life, and I just I am always relating them to doing the Camino, to being with God, with Saint James, because I'm also really devoted to Saint James, to Santiago, and you know, there are these things for many people that are coincidences or whatever, but for pilgrims, sometimes they feel like a miracles. Did you know? And for me, it happened to me several times, and there's these feelings that these moments can hold on into us that are amazing. So what are the feelings that you feel while walking the Camino?
It's really special. I think if you bring me to the plane and follow my eyes and put me on the Camino path, I would feel that's Camino.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think that that 800 kilometers, it's a really special route. And I saw many people on the Camino who walked just to prove there isn't anything special there.
Yeah.
And they walked maybe 5 or 6 days, and 7 day or 10 day or 15 day, they were all in the bliss.
Yeah.
Cried like babies, amazed what's happening, but without any chance to explain it.
Yeah.
And after Camino, I say to my friends, the chance to go to the Camino and don't feel anything, don't be blissed, is smaller than jump into the water and went out dry.
Oh,
It's
it was.
impossible to go to the Camino and don't be touched. It's really special route.
It's
There
impossible.
is only one place I visited in my life, and it's Medjugorje. It's
Yeah, I know.
well-known Croatian place.
Yeah.
The first time in my life I felt something like that was in Medjugorje maybe 30 years ago, and the second time is Camino. But Camino, I think it's so special because there is one point I remember when you can choose a path Saint Jacob walked and some easier way.
Yeah.
And I chose Saint Jacob way, and you can really feel some presence, some spirit. Maybe people who didn't walk Camino would think we are crazy.
Yeah. Do you know?
Patagonians, special.
Yeah. Do you know? Last year, I was walking the Primitivo, and it was the second time walking the Primitivo, and because of the pandemic virus, I don't know what happened, but in the first stage, in the first, I don't know, 20 kilometers, I didn't find anything open. I didn't find an albergue or a coffee, a cafe, or a shop. I didn't find anything open. So I couldn't stop. We wanted to stop to have a drink, to relax, to take a rest. But it was everything. Was closed, and suddenly it was like um how can I say this? Far away from the Camino, like 300 meters, there was a cafe that it was open. And me and other pilgrims, we went there. We stayed there. We have beer, with something, and then I was the first to get up and continue my Camino, and and suddenly it was like this big road ahead of me, just straight road, and there was no one there. There was just me, the road, and the wind. And I felt like the wind was blowing in my direction. I felt that God was there with me, or Saint Jacob, there was someone with there in me in that moment, or God, or Saint Jacob, or anyone else. But there was something there.
Yes, I can say for myself, in every one doubtful situation, there was some sign to direct me. You said wind. In my case, there were many people, but in every single situation where I stopped and have a doubt where to go, every time, just heaven sent me somebody to help.
It is amazing. And yeah,
A saying Camino provides.
yeah,
And
Camino
that's
provides. Every
uh,
time, every time.
whenever I needed something, Camino provided
Yeah.
on,
And you
on
know,
its way. And let's say it was about, uh, uh, I worked 24 days. Every day it was a small miracle for me, and 3 days it was a big miracle.
that is amazing. And you know, exactly one of the things that really stick out to us while walking the Camino. Sometimes they are that angels, that persons that we found on the Camino. You know, and for me, it was in one of my worst moments while walking the Camino, when I was in doubt, when I was really struggling to keep going. Uh, it suddenly there was a pilgrim there that I didn't know from nowhere, and he suddenly was preoccupied with me, and he asked me what it was going on. So I explained this Spanish guy, old Spanish guy, and he said to me something that uh, for me it's a phrase for my life. You know, something like don't give matter to the things that doesn't matter. You know, and after that moment, uh, my Camino changed a lot for better. And you know, and that guy, Rafael, it's its name, was an angel that God or Saint James or Saint Jacob put it in front of me on my Camino to help me to keep going, to follow the footsteps of Saint Jacob. You know, and that for me is brilliant. The Camino is full of these signs, like you said. That is amazing, right? Uh,
I
I would,
haven't had any tough moment. It was a pure joy for me every second. But just one day, I was a little bit afraid because I got my third blister,
yeah,
third day of walking in Pamplona. And my friends were, hmm, uh, uh, they worried about me because it was too early. But I met in Albergue Maribel Roncal. It's in the first village after Pamplona.
yeah.
She treated my blister so good. The 2 days after that, a doctor in Estella was shocked because it was cured.
Oh, amazing, amazing.
Only 2 days. I call this woman Sancta Maribel
That is amazing.
because
And
she saved my pet. So it was wonderful. Great
and
experience.
when you arrived in Santiago, what it was, how it was, what is the feeling? What it was you what you felt on that moment?
Camino made a joke with me because when I prepared to go to Camino, everybody told me about almost hysteria in Santiago. People cried, get down on their knees. And I booked a flight 3 days after my arriving in
Yeah,
Santiago. I planned to sit on the square and 3 days enjoy watching people coming to
right.
Santiago.
Yeah,
Uh, I didn't cry. Only first day of the Camino and the last one. Every other day, I cried so many tears. Uh, uh, I was surprised. Is it possible to have so much water in me? What I cried.
yeah.
I think it was more water in my tears than in my body. And the last day,
You didn't
uh,
try.
I was at the monument on the
Yeah,
hill
yeah,
with a fantastic panoramic view of Santiago.
yeah.
And I talked by the phone to my girlfriend, and she said, "Okay, my darling, let's finish the conversation, go to Santiago, and cry your soul like never." And I came to the cathedral, and in Santiago, completely calm. And 3 days after my arriving,
Yeah.
I saw no single person, no single soul crying around the cathedral. It wasn't for me to see that. 4 days, Fourth day, I'm on the airport and I'm waiting for my plane to go to Zagreb, to home. And my friends who arrived after me, everybody of them posted many people crying around. around the
One minute, 1 minute. I'm sorry, 1 minute. Sorry, it was my battery.
Oh, it's not a problem. My most intenseful moment was on the day 20. But the last day of walking, it was mixed emotions because I'm very, very near Santiago.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to finish my pilgrimage. But on the other hand, I would like never to be at the end of the road because I would like to walk forever.
That is amazing. When you entered the airplane to Zagreb, and when you arrived in Zagreb on the airport, what happened to you?
I remember the first sentence my girlfriend told me at the airport.
What it was?
The first she said, it was, "Your hug is different."
Amazing. That is beautiful, so beautiful.
It is beautiful.
The Camino changed.
I'm near crying this moment.
So that is amazing. So for you, when you come back home, what did you felt there was different in you after walking the Camino?
I was in peace, complete peace. I was calm like never before. It is easier to accept anything life brings on my way.
Yeah.
And let's say I made a peace with all the world and with myself. And that lasts 4 years after my Camino, but I'm really eager to go again. And I would like to go with my girlfriend, my love.
Yeah.
Many people ask, okay, why in two, why with her? I say, wow, 800 kilometers, about million ideal points for kissing.
You know, I don't know. Maybe there is someone out there that doesn't like walk the Camino, but I don't know anyone. The persons that I know in my life, I don't know anyone that has just walked the Camino one time. It's almost impossible. Or maybe just have walked one and just thinking of coming back when they can, And that is the Camino. That is the Camino.
I say Camino is fairy tale in reality.
Yeah. Ooh, beautiful.
Really, I'm a sport journalist.
Yeah.
And the closest feeling to walking to Camino was Olympic Games. And not every day of the 2 weeks, maybe the last day, the closing ceremony. But Olympic Games has some failure because it's a competition. Camino, I lost my wallet 2 times on the Camino.
You are like me.
And first time I was pretty upset. Where is my wallet? Where is my phone? Hospitalera told me, be calm, don't worry, your wallet is waiting for you on the place you've forgotten it. And that was the truth. It's really hard to expect something like that in ordinary world.
Yeah,
But on the Camino, it's every day. It's only a way of conducting life.
What happened? So, when you come back after the Camino, what was the inspiration? The inspiration that you have to write about your amazing experiences?
What was my inspiration to? Can you repeat the question?
What was your inspiration to write about the Camino?
Inspiration of explanation.
Inspiration. I'm sorry. Inspiration. Yeah.
Oh, in fact, I'm a writer. I write about everything. But a specialty about Camino is that I wrote a book in 2 weeks. Ordinary time to write a book is about a year, maybe two. But it was so easy, so smoothly, so quick. And I would like to share my experiences and everything I lived with all those people from all the world, that brotherhood, friendship. In fact, love amongst all the people in the world. And I really enjoyed writing process, and I really enjoyed walking, in fact, not walking, but presenting my book in almost all the Croatia with many audiences. All about Camino is a joy for me. It's something more than special.
So in Spanish, can you more or less try to, or in English, try to translate how it was called, your book in English, for example?
A title in Spanish.
Or in Spanish.
My book is available only in one language except Croatian, and it's Spanish.
Yeah.
Only in Spanish you can find my book on Amazon.
That's amazing.
And the title is En el camino abracé a Dios.
That is amazing. That is really beautiful. and you really felt like that. You really felt that you on your Camino, you felt embraced by God.
Yes, in fact, it was the first place after most amazing village on the path of Sebreiro is, you can remind me, I can't remember in a moment, but was 20 day.
Yeah.
And I walked, and it was out of nowhere. I felt physical sensations like hugging my mother, my real mother. And it was, I cried like never before. It was so intense and so real. A sensation in that moment, I have maybe few months. I'm a baby in that hug. And it lasted maybe 1 hour. After that, suddenly I felt sensation like hugging my sister. My sister is 9 years younger than me. And it was the same love, like love between mother and child, but different because it's my sister and me.
Yeah.
And it was so many tears, but joyful tears. You want never to stop that because something fantastic. After that, again suddenly, I felt sensation like hugging my girlfriend, my wife. And that was so real, it was incredible. And at the end of the process, I saw light, beautiful light and felt hugging with God.
That is amazing.
It's so intense now.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for inviting me to share that. I can remember it was my custom to drink a beer 5 or 6 kilometers before my next destination.
Yeah.
And it was a terrace of some cafe. I was so in tears. They looked at me, okay, on Camino it's normal. And I entered the bar, ordered some beer. It was some celebration of some domestic people. There were some pilgrims around me, and all of they respected my moment. Nobody interfered. In that case, in that moment, I get some conscience and feeling a little bit sad because I felt it will end very near. But I remember that moment for all my life, and I've talked about that moment maybe 50, 60, 100 times because that moment titled my book. On the Camino, I hug God, and El Camino abracé a Dios, because that was most beautiful moment in my life, and I don't think I will repeat it ever again. I hope I will, but okay, that one is enough.
Yeah, that is amazing. That is amazing. So, you know, I have like I'm Portuguese, and I live really nearby of Santiago, and nearby of the Camino, and I have the opportunity of keeping the Camino alive in me, uh, really near me. But people that live far away from it, or in South America, or even in Europe, like you in Croatia, that is really far away from the Camino, from Santiago. So, how did you keep your Camino spirit alive while in Croatia?
Hmm. Let's say I walk the Camino every day. You can walk Camino in your life.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the last chapter of my book. The point is never finish your Camino. I started a charity 6 or 7 years ago. 15% of every of my book we donate to the education for the two children without parents.
Hey.
And in fact, my experience is it's not possible to force or make somebody to change behavior. But if other people look at you and they like what they see, they want to change. And I think that's a good message for every one of us. Everything we need to do is just to live right way. Nothing more, nothing less.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Thank you for sharing your Camino and your spirit of the Camino in
Thank
you.
you for inviting me.
So Tomislav, we are almost finishing here, but first,
Okay.
Two questions and one small request that I have for you. But first,
Okay.
if your Camino could be described with one word, what word would you like to choose?
One word.
One word for the Camino.
Love. Love.
Exactly like that. For me, it's the same. For me, Camino, it's love. Thank you, thank you. You are the
Thank
second.
you.
You are the second. The first person telling that was me, and the second is you. That is amazing. So the other question is, imagine uh, if at one point in your life you could be sitting down with Saint Jacob, Santiago, Saint James is the same, um, and talking to him. What would you ask him about?
Hmm. So you asked me to pick one time in my life,
Yeah,
and what would I ask?
yeah.
Okay, I see a picture of me 5 years old, and the question would be why the life is so hard.
That is really, really intense. Thank you for sharing that. Uh, Tomislav, thank you so much for this and for us to finishing in a beautiful way. My request to you is just for you to give a message to the pilgrims that will watch and will listen to this conversation between you and me from the Camino to the Camino. Whatever you want to say, whatever you feel you need to say, please, to finish here.
Okay. Love is answer for all the questions. And in fact, I don't give advices,
Yeah.
but only one advice I would give to everybody: walk the Camino.
That's just perfect.
And you will find why, but just walk the Camino.
That is just really, really, really perfect. Thank you so much. That is perfect.
Thank you.
Um, uh, Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your Camino, your beautiful experiences, and it's such a pleasure. And I really hope to see you someday. And suddenly I can go and visit you in Croatia. Thank you so much.
If you ever come to Croatia, you have my contacts.
Yeah,
Call me and we'll drink some vino tinto or something like that.
perfect. Thank you so much. Buen Camino.
Thank you and buen camino to you.